Hey man. So, I didn't do stand-up comedy tonight. And I'll be honest, I didn't want to. I really didn't. I ended up talking to Ronnit and Brad for a really, really long time. And they were both stoned, so they didn't want to go anywhere. But, I know I need to get back into it, though. It's like, as long as I do this, as long as I do something creative and put myself out there in some kind of way, I can rationalize not getting up there on stage. And it's not as if, like, oh, I'm just nervous or whatever. It's really not that. I mean, the last time I did stand-up, I did really, really well. I performed at this podcast. I guess I'll leave the link below, because they put it up, this Christmas special that they did. And I was the first person on the show. Ronnit's on it too, if you're curious about her comedy. She's funny because she's authentic, but if you don't know her, she's not funny. She's just weird and intimidating and off-putting, because she's like a classic New York Jew. And like that really, really resonates, and it definitely intimidates people in the South. It intimidates people that aren't used to somebody talking about their pussy and like really meaning it, like she's legit. She's just not like doing it for the culture, like there are plenty of people talking about their genitals, and it's because that's what's in right now. She talks about her genitals because she's a New York Jew, so she just doesn't give a fuck like what people think about her. She's gonna do whatever she wants to do. She's gonna say whatever she wants to say. That's why we get along so well. But she's very, very supportive. And she understands what comedy is and what it's for, and she understands what art is and what it's for. And I feel like that's very, very lost on a lot of people. And it has everything to do with technology. Politics, a little bit. But they talk about politics so they don't have to talk about technology. They talk about politics so they don't have to talk about all the products that they use on a day-to-day basis that are guaranteeing the outcome that they swear up and down they don't want, which is pretty funny actually. But yeah, it's like she's authentic because she's real. But if you're real, that's going to intimidate people that are fake and phony, and they just want a gig. They just want a gig at Zanies. Why aren't they getting a gig at Zanies? Because you're not talented. Either that or you're not sleeping with the booking agent. Okay? Sleep with the booking agent. Just butter her up. Just get drunk with that bitch. Just pretend you're a feminist. Then you'll get a gig. I can't do that. I suck because I hate feminists. So I can't do that. Every time she's ever seen me perform, I just bitch about women. So no, like, I'm not getting a gig at Zanies. Like, that's not going to happen. And that's fine, because I don't want to get anything mainstream. If it's mainstream, I have failed. If it's popular, I have failed. So that's how I see it. But most of the comedians are not really talented, and they're not interesting, and they do the same shit over and over and over again. They talk about their dick, they talk about their pussy, they talk about their asshole, they talk about getting pegged, dude. Just nasty. Just And I can't believe I'm saying that, you know, like I started off as a dirty comic. I've always been really open and honest about things like that, but, you know, just seeing the way that the culture's going, that's the last thing I want to do now. I mean, I want to talk about it in a way that people aren't used to. Not just to shock people, you know, because I feel like that's kind of cheap. It's a trope in a way. Like, I'm just going to say this to be transgressive. I'm just going to say this to offend people, you know. It's like, that's all well and good, but it's like, you know, do you have a purpose behind it? Is there a reason why you're doing that? Or it's just surface level. You know, it's not deep at all. But back to what I was saying about, you know, politics and art. It's just everything's on the surface. People would rather have stuff they don't have to think about. But something I've noticed is when I do comedy, it's like, I'll do a joke and people won't laugh immediately, but then I'll hear them snicker. It's like they get it 5 seconds later. But I guess that's good. That I made them think. But there's no other comedian that's like pushing it like I'm pushing it, man. Because, I mean, there are a lot of people in Nashville that know who I am that haven't even seen me do comedy. Because that's the kind of reputation I have. And not just because I said the N-word, but because I'm just very weird. I'm not afraid for everybody to think that I'm crazy. Well, first of all, because I am crazy and I know that I'm crazy. And that's not just like, okay, in the eyes of the world, I'm crazy. It's like, dude, I mean, I could drive myself up one wall and down another. And it's all about awareness. You know, once you become aware of the fact that you have that capability, you can do that to yourself. And your brain can play tricks on you. You got to play those tricks right back. And you got to do the same thing with the world. You got to do the same thing with material. You got to do the same thing with art, jokes, all that. So with censorship's a great example of this. So I've just figured out a way to say the things that I want to say where they can't get mad about it. Either because they don't know, because they're too stupid, because once again, like I just said, surface. It's all they care about is the surface. So it's really not that hard to fool these people because they're so dense, okay? But it's more fun. It's more fun for me. You know, I look at censorship like it's, I mean, it's obviously a bad thing. I don't agree with it, but it's like I look at it like it's a challenge rather than just whining about it like, you know, typical conservatives that don't believe in art, okay? Because they go, oh shit, I could just artistically dig my way out of this hole. Yeah, man, you just gotta use a fork for a shovel, you know? That's what you gotta do. It's like, that's the thing, it wouldn't even cross their mind to do that. Because they want the world to be laid out for them so that they don't have to lift a finger. So they want to be able to call the police whenever there's trouble in their neighborhood rather than try to fix the problem themselves. You know, it's like the same thing with the pit bull situation. So it's like they want to just ban pit bulls. That's not the solution. That's not the solution, because a criminal will continue to commit crimes. That's the argument you make about guns, right? So The same types of people on the left that want to ban AR-15s are the same types of people on the right that want to ban pit bulls. Now, they never mention the breed of pit bull, because there are multiple breeds of pit bulls, okay? So they never mention the breed that is responsible for a vicious attack. They don't mention any details about it. And I think there's a reason for that. Like, you know, obviously there's a lot of shit they don't tell us, but it's like, the more questions you ask, and the more roundabout research you do, you know, like I've strongly suggested, roundabout research is when you ask people questions. You don't let them know what your political beliefs are, but you ask them questions. You ask as many questions as possible to as many people as you possibly can talk to about various subjects. You'll figure out a lot more than you will reading a news article or books even. I mean, books are good, but it's still not roundabout research. It's still not, you know, communicating with other people. I mean, talking to people and having an experience is way more valuable than just reading a book. And like, I can't believe I have to explain that, but it's just like nobody wants to think outside the box. You know, they stare at a box all the time for entertainment purposes, for validation purposes. They're bored. They're so bored. They're bored with their shitty ass life. They're bored with their lame decisions that they make. They don't even know why they're making them. Okay? Like, I was thinking about this yesterday. So I was at choir practice and I was bored. And I'll totally admit that. I get bored. I do. I get bored. But like, I started thinking about sex. And I don't even like sex, but I was so bored that I was like, dude, I want to masturbate. And like, I was planning it. I was planning on masturbating as soon as I got home. I didn't do it, by the way, okay? And the reason why I didn't do it was because, in case you didn't know, I put up some YouTube videos last night, right? And I was having this conversation with my friend Brad tonight. We were talking about pornography, and we were talking about just how easy it is to, like, you know, just go back to that because it's what you're used to. And it's the same thing with eating. You know, people that are really obese, it's like it affects the same part of your brain because you want to create, right? So it's survival. So the part of you wants to eat, you need to eat to survive. You need to fuck to survive, right? Procreation. I mean, we're not going to do that when we masturbate, but, you know, it's still that same part of your brain. So it's like, if you find yourself masturbating or watching pornography, if you find yourself eating too much, you find yourself drinking and smoking, getting high a lot, it's because you're bored. You're bored. That's it. You're fucking bored. Okay, so make some. Make some. Go create something. Go do something. That'll stimulate your brain. And whenever you see the finished products, whenever you see, oh wow, I did something instead of myself. I did something instead of stuff my face full of crap food. I did something instead of watch people have sex that are probably getting raped, you know? Once you realize that you have that power within yourself to do something better, you're going to want to chase that. Just like, you know, it's very addictive. You get sucked into that pornographic sphere, you know, whether it's actual literal pornography or it's your Twitter account or your Telegram account or your Facebook account. It's all the same. You're bored. Go do something. Just like all these people are so self-destructive. They're either hurting themselves through food, substances, media. You know, I mention this over and over again. We can't mention it enough because, like, our society is totally degenerate. And I don't believe in freedom anymore. Like, I don't think that freedom is moral in the slightest. But if you're having all kinds of unwanted sexual thoughts, if you're trying to stop eating crap food and you keep eating crap food, and I have a friend of mine who's very, very obese, extremely, like, I mean, she's probably pushing 300 pounds, okay? And we were talking about it, she was like, yeah, I try to stop and I can't, Amy, I can't, like, it's just such a temptation. And yeah, and the more you try to stop, the more you'll fail, which is why you need to do something else. So rather than just try to stop yourself from eating, you need to go do something else. That's why when I quit smoking cigarettes, I picked up a sign language book. And I said, I gotta do something with these hands. Most people, when they quit a substance, they just pick up another substance. You have any idea how many people told me, oh, well, are you trying to quit smoking? Well, you should vape. I would rather kill myself than vape, y'all. I would rather just slip my wrists in a bathtub than ever be hitting a vape pen, okay? It's just so stupid. It's not just terrible for you. I don't care that it's terrible for you. It's just stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. But anyway. Yeah, I would rather die than look stupid, okay? I mean, I know I look stupid. You don't have to tell me that. But I'm not going to look that stupid in that particular way. But yeah. It's like these people that they back themselves into a corner. And they don't realize that there's so much more out there for them. There's limitless possibility. Really and truly. And I remember when I quit drinking alcohol, I remember thinking to myself, what in the motherfucker am I going to do? Because all I did was drink. All I did was drink and wake up in my own piss and make terrible decisions and lose shit. Lose shit that I claimed I care about. Okay? And yet, when I quit drinking, I found that there were so many other things that I could be addicted to, you know? I could go shopping, I could chain smoke, you know? I could drink 2 pots of coffee. I could sleep way too much. I could masturbate for 8 hours straight, you know? That's what I'm saying. Limitless possibilities. But yeah, man. People just have no idea what kind of a disservice they're doing themselves by saying, oh, I can't. I can't. So we need to change the language. You guys, I found somebody to do a TikTok for me. This person's obsessed with social media. Now, he's not obsessed with it the way that everybody else is obsessed with it, but he's really passionate about dancing, and I really want to help him out. And he's in some trouble right now. He needs money. So I told him, you know, if you do this for me, I'll do this for you. Quid pro quo. You know, that's the barter system. That's something y'all should get used to. Well, since he's good at social media, he's doing it for his career. And he's black, so he knows how to hustle, right? I don't. I suck at that. Absolutely suck at that. My friend Brittany got mad at me and she told me I was racist for me to say that. No, it's not. Why do you think the CIA invented crack and distributed it into the black community? It's because they know that black people know how to hustle, okay? Why do you think they fill their heads with all this propaganda trying to convince them that they're not conservative? They're very, very conservative. That's why they don't waste their money at some fucking water park. They're not gonna fucking do that shit. because that's money. That's a lot of money. Like, white people are stupid, and they'll go to a water park. They'll spend like $60 going down a slide. Okay? I mean, like, that's what I'm talking about. It's like, you can say that, oh, that these are racist statements, or these are stereotypes. These are speculations, honey. These are speculations that are 100% accurate. And you're mad that I thought of them first because I spend more time with these people than you do, and I notice these things about them. Okay? And they're not just speculations about them. They're speculations about me. They're speculations about my people and how stupid we are. So, booyah. Anyway. Whew. So, I'm thinking about, back to the story, I'm thinking about just attempting to be organized and just having these really short and sweet, you know, sort of instructional TikToks about how to live the Amy Gross life. So, we're all about solutions over here, okay? Everybody on a social network is a piece of shit, and they don't actually care about solutions. Otherwise, they wouldn't be social networking. They would be helping their community, okay? See, right here? This is a solution to the loneliness problem. I have friends over here, okay? And you can say, they're plush toys. They don't count. Honey, they are made in China, okay? That means that they're 1,000 times more valid than plush toys made in America, okay? Do they make plush toys in America? I don't think so. I don't think they do. But, yeah, it's just ridiculous that, you know, people, they just want to complain. They don't want to get themselves out of any sticky situation. It's almost like they just keep adding more fucking Gorilla Glue to every situation that they whine about. Because that's easier. It's easier to just whine. But it's because they don't have that sort of artistic, think outside the box mindset, which only a true Robert Frost liberal could possess. Conservatives don't have that. They'll never have that. But I do think that one of the reasons why God put me on this planet was so I could provide insight, whereas, you know, everybody else just this is a solution. Everybody else just wants to wait on somebody else to do it for them. Well, I'm going to do it for you. How about that? How about that? You see? I create. It might be ratchet. It might be lame. But it's like I brought these to church and everybody took one and they were so excited about them. Okay? So it's like if I can offer a tool that other people can use in a positive way that helps them to enhance their relationship with God as well as enhance their relationship with themselves, because if you have a relationship with God, you have a relationship with yourself and vice versa, okay? If I can do that, then I've done my job. It doesn't matter if I get famous for it. It doesn't matter if I get paid for it. People that want money and fame are pieces of shit. And they're going to burn in hell because they care more about their social status, which is the beast system. So, once again, booyah.